Today we've got big changes to talk about at an airline that I know is a popular one. It's one of the major airlines that we all fly on when we are going somewhere to embark on a cruise. Lots of itinerary changes to let you know about, as well as an update from the Emerald Princess from Let's Go family members who were just on and shared a lot of useful information. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Tuesday, it is October 24th of 2023, and right off, will you please subscribe to our channel because you don't want to miss out, and we would love to have you with us. Also, when you see the subscribe button, you hit that, and right next to it is a bell. If you click on that, you will receive a notification every time we go live or put up a video so that you don't miss anything that you need to know. Now, let's start at the top with United Airlines. You know, I've been talking with you a lot lately about the changes that Delta has been doing to their loyalty. Well, United is also making some tweaks. And you know, if my loyalty was with United, I wouldn't be crazy about this either. So I think in the long run, we're all just going to have to navigate how we are going to weigh out where we're going to put our loyalty or not put our loyalty, and how we're going to fly to have the experience that hopefully is something close to what we want. So what the changes that United is making is they are going to change the way they have passengers board the plane, and they're calling it Wilma. And what they are going to do, and I'll read you the order that they are going to have people board, but the main essence of it is that they want to board passengers so that they board those windows, and then the middle seat, and then the aisle seat. They think it's going to save time, and I got a kick out of one of the articles I read about it. They figured out it saves about 2 minutes in embarkation. But what stands out to me in this process is where we're going to put our bags in the overhead bin if we have an aisle seat. So first of all, let me tell you the order and then some things I think will help us all as we think about tackling things like this when we're going to go on an airplane ride, because some people fly quite often, some people fly every once in a while, and so I think it's really helpful when we talk about everything that's going on to make sure that everyone's in the loop, and also we share our good ideas with each other. So on United, when you go to board, first of all, they are letting their active duty military, which I noticed Delta does that as well, then their global service members, then families traveling with children 2 and under, then their Premier 1K members, United Polaris Business members, United First Class passengers, United Business passengers, and then they go to their Premier Platinum, their Premier Gold. It's crazy all the levels they have these days. Your Star Alliance Gold, then your Premier Silver, your Star Alliance Silver, your Chase and Specific International card holders, your paid Premier Access seats, and then everything changes. So they're doing with all that loyalty, and then what's left, which is often most of the airplane, then everyone who has a window seat is going to embark. So if you've got a window seat, you're going to get on first after those people, but in the largest portion of the plane, you're going to get on first, and you are going to have first access to those overhead bins to slide your carry-on. Now, that maybe doesn't seem like a big deal, but if you have a carry-on, it is a big deal. And when they run out of bin space, then they have to check your carry-on to the next location, wherever you're going to be picking up your luggage. And to me, it's a big deal because sometimes I have things in my carry-on that I don't want checked. And so it is really a big deal to have that handy access to those overhead bins. So after all the window passengers are seated, then they're going to seat everyone who is sitting in the exit row seats. Then they're going to carry on and end up with the middle seats and then the aisle seats. And the last people to get on are going to be the carry-on restricted basic economy and customers with no boarding group number on their boarding pass. And so it's really interesting to me how airlines keep jostling how they are doing all of this. And I will point out that this does highlight that when you are booking your plane ticket, make sure that you know what you're paying for, because as it was illustrated here, there are basic economy seats that you can't bring a carry-on on board with you. And so make sure you know what you're picking. Also, a lot of those basic economy seats, you don't get to have your seat assigned before you're going to get on the plane. You don't get to choose it in advance. So what you do is just look at all the different prices and decide how much you want to pay for your ticket based on what you get to go with that. But I thought it would be useful for everyone. I didn't want you to be surprised if you hop on your next flight, whether no matter where you're going, and especially if you're going on a cruise, so you wouldn't be surprised with how they do that seating and allocate. Basically, they're allocating the overhead bin space when you really think about it. So let me know if you fly on United and if this changes your game plan at all. I will add that since all of the changes with Delta that I was quite passionate about, if you haven't seen those videos, go back and watch them because it has a lot of information for you. But with Delta, as they have made the changes in their loyalty, I'm going to tell you some things that I think will help you about that a different day because I'm still figuring it out. But we have been looking at flights on other airlines. Salt Lake City, where we fly from, is a really big hub for Delta. And we just bought our tickets, for example, down to LAX for our Total Eclipse cruise that we've got next April. And we looked at all of the other airlines flying down there. And when you consider the baggage fees that go with those tickets and some just the price of the tickets, Delta was cheaper for us. And so we're sticking with Delta for those flights as well. So let me know how that's looking for you guys, okay? Now, the next thing I want to tell you about is several itinerary changes. One of them is unexpected. The Enchanted Princess is sailing in the Mediterranean right now, and due to inclement weather, they are not able to call in the port of Livorno there. And Livorno is historically, it is where you head to go to Florence when you're on a cruise. So I felt really bad that they had to miss that port, because Florence is magnificent. But I'm hoping that they don't have to miss any of their other ports. I'll keep an eye on it, and I really appreciate all the updates all of you send to me. Another thing to note about what they shared is that the Wi-Fi is not good on the Enchanted Princess, which really surprises me a little bit. And so let me know, those of you who are on a ship, and it is really valuable no matter what cruise line you're on to let us all know, just so that we know what to expect. As I have shared several times, when we were on the Island Princess in July, we did go up, clear up to Iceland, up into the Arctic Circle on that cruise, and we had amazing Wi-Fi. It was excellent the whole time. We even had inclement weather. We missed a port for inclement weather, and we still had great Wi-Fi. It did slow down a little bit on the day that we had the very worst weather, because that can affect it a little bit, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad slowdown. And just when we went on our Northern Lights cruise on the Island Princess, the internet was terrible. And so I kind of thought, well, maybe it is because we're so far north and something's changed a little bit. But even with the Enchanted Princess, they say that the Wi-Fi has not been great. So just putting that out there. Let me all know what you think maybe the change is, as well as what the Wi-Fi is like on the ship that you're on. I'll be on the Carnival Celebration next, and I'm excited to let you know what the Wi-Fi is like on those ships. The next itinerary update is for our Total Eclipse cruise. So on April 3rd of 2024 on the Discovery Princess, for a 10-day cruise, we'll be sailing round trip from Los Angeles. And two of the ports on that cruise are Manzanillo and Puerto Vallarta. And due to some engine maintenance, they are having to switch the order of those ports. So we still get to go to both of them, just in a different order. We were going to go to Puerto Vallarta, then down to Manzanillo, and now it'll be switched, okay? So just a heads up on that. And then also for those cruises that are going to Hawaii and the South Pacific, we are all very anxious to hear when ships are going to be able to call in Maui again, and just all of the adjustments that are made on those. Well, a Let's Go family member who is booked on the April 5th, 2024, it's a 32-day Hawaii and Tahiti cruise to the South Pacific. They just received an update. She let me know last night that instead of going, they were due to call in the port of Lahaina, Maui. They get to go to the port of Kahului. I hope I'm saying that right. Kahului, Maui. And so that's wonderful. They'll be able to go there, see Maui, and help support all the local businesses with their tourist dollars. I think it's a bright spot. and everything that's going on there in Maui, as the people there are going through everything that they need to do to try to rebuild and decide what they're going to do for their future there. So I thought that was great news. The other update that I've got for you, as I mentioned, is the Emerald Princess. So our Let's Go family members were on the Emerald Princess, and overall I think they had an amazing cruise. They were kind enough to share some photos, so I'm going to share those here with you as I let you know everything they had to share. And some of the things that they shared really stood out to me, and so I thought it would be a lovely point of conversation amongst all of us. In the comments, let me know some of your favorite places on the ship to do different things. I love to hear about that. Sometimes I admit I get in a rut. You get on a ship and you start to enjoy being on the cruise and everything, but I really like how these people saw the whole ship, enjoyed it, and so let me know some of your favorite things to do and to participate in, would you? Because that'll help remind us all of everything that's out there. So first of all, they had recently been on the Majestic Princess, so there's a point of comparison. The Emerald Princess is a little smaller ship of Princess, and the Majestic is the bigger Royal Class ships, some of the more recent ones. And one of the things that I really enjoyed is they went to the buffet first, like a lot of us do, and they said the food was not awesome. And so that's always makes you a little bit nervous at the beginning of a cruise if the food's not fabulous. On the Island Princess, it's like I told you, it was fine. It was fine. I could eat it. It was fine. It wasn't remarkable. Some things, though, were stand out really good. Some things were stand out really bad. Most of it was just fine. And so on the Emerald Princess, though, they did really enjoy going to the Crown Grill. They said that was awesome as expected. And back to that better discussion that we had when I was on the Island Princess, they got better given to them there in the Crown Grill. They really enjoyed the casino, and I love that they enjoyed the outrigger bar waiting for the sail away. Now, Gordon and I do sailaways a lot, just because we want to show you when we're sailing away, but that outrigger bar is a wonderful place to see a sail away. It looks off so that you have a splendid view of everything as you're sailing away. So let us know some of your favorite places to sail away. Another fun thing that I thought they did as they were sailing away from Newport, they enjoyed sitting in a hot tub and watching the sunset and Newport fade into the distance. I thought that was wonderful. I have never done that, so that's on my list of things to do. They enjoyed the rock opera on the ship. It is one of Princess's major production shows. It's called Rock Opera, and they have like a beautiful set. I'll have Gordon find some of my footage from that and put it in here, because when I was just on the island, I videoed just a little snippet here and there so that you could get a feel for it. He said that it wasn't quite as rock enough for him, and maybe a little too opera. They do have opera songs, they have more pop songs, things like that, so it's kind of a nice mix of a lot of different kinds of music for people who enjoy that. And like I said, beautiful costumes, beautiful set. It's really a beautiful production. One thing he did point out was the difference between the smaller ships and the larger ships when it comes to walking around. He said, and the number of passengers who are on board as well. And he said the less passengers made him feel a little bit more familiar with everyone than it was on the Majestic Princess, because it's such a bigger ship. The entertainment venues are so much more enjoyable, he said, and truly the Princess Theater on the smaller ships is much more intimate than it is on the larger ships. It is a much, much bigger theater there, and it makes a big difference. Sometimes you can still enjoy the productions, but it is a lot more intimate there on the smaller ships. And then finally, the entertainment crew on the Majestic, they enjoyed more, but they took part in more activities on the Emerald Princess. And I can see that, because a lot of times when you're on a bigger ship, some of the venues are not that much bigger. You just have more passengers. So if you are not really early to go to trivia or to the karaoke or to the game show, sometimes it gets crowded really quickly, and you don't always have a place to sit or feel quite as involved because there are so many people there. The last thing that I wanted to share is he noticed they're 49 years old and said they felt like a youngster with a lot of the demographic of people who are on the ship, which makes perfect sense. They're sailing in October, which is when we were going to Norway, and we had a much overall, there's always people of, all the different ages, but at this time of year, you do tend to get more people who are retired and older because younger families have got the kids in school. They're really busy. They just took their summer vacation. And so this is a great time to sail if you like to sail just with a little bit more chill group and not as many children running around. But I really appreciate their update. They had a great time in all of the ports. I really enjoyed my New England cruise, and I want to say I enjoyed my New England cruise much more than I expected. I have been to visited New England several times in my life, and so on the one hand I thought, well, I've seen this before, but you know what? It was amazing to see it from the water, to experience the port towns the way that you do when you go on a cruise. What a special experience, and really spectacular scenery that you don't see when you're driving. Same as, you should also visit some places driving in a car because you see it in a different way than if you are on a cruise ship. So I just wanted you to know that if you've been toying with the idea of putting a New England cruise on your bucket list, I think you should go ahead and put it on there. I enjoyed it, like I said, very much, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. We're going to do it again because Gordon needs to go. So let me know if you've got questions about anything. I look forward to hearing from you all. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.